Tommy Daff and Vega.
Tommy, is that girl? Like that Asian girl?
Yeah.
I think it might be pronounced Tommy.
Oh, is it Tommy?
I think it's Tommy.
Okay.
Yeah.
I've seen her spin once. This is my second time seeing her.
Bro, it's crazy how... Well, first of all, how long have you been DJing out here?
Yo.
Over 10 years?
This coming year is going to be my 20th year.
20th? Mm-hmm. Holy shit. Did you used to be like a rapper or anything? Or did you go straight into DJing?
No, I was never... I mean, me and my buddies did like some goofy stuff, but I was never putting out projects or anything, nah.
Yeah.
But yeah, just DJing the whole time for real, like 20 years deep.
Bro.
Started at VCU when I was in Richmond, but then...
You went to VCU?
Yeah. From Norfolk, though, but went up there.
Bro, I'm always interested to see just creatives out here that make it through the eras, that just last through time and find a way to keep creating as you get older, have a family, become an adult. Because, like, we all imagine, like, creative shit as just being this high school thing or this kid thing. Oh. And a lot of us most creatives don't ever really make it to the point where it's their career. Like, do you have another job, or is this like all you do?
I've always been the guy that had the full-time job too.
What do you do?
So I'm actually I'm in the elevator industry full-time. So I do service and repair contracting. So I negotiate with big clients. Like, I basically have the whole peninsula as my territory. But like hospitals,
building elevators.
We do new installs, but my forte is more in like the service and repair. Okay. So like when their elevator breaks, they can't just go to Amazon and put a part in there. You got to get a qualified technician to come out there and fix your elevator. But that's basically what I do. Is I do contracts and stuff like that.
So that's your day job. You work like 40 hours a week.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not too bad. But I used to sell. I've always been in sales, so I used to sell cars. I sold radio ads. I was a truck driver for a little while. Like, I've been around a little while.
My dad's actually a truck driver. I'm an electrician. I actually wired an elevator one time at this old company I worked at. Kind of a lot that goes into it.
Oh yeah. It's basically just a car inside of a tunnel going up and down. Like, it's just all safety features. That's all it is. Just a bunch of them, keeping you from falling down the hoistway.
Bro, so look, I want to get into a lot of this stuff. You know, I went through your Twitter. I think I tweeted you. You tweet a lot, first of all.
I do. I just be bored. I got ADHD, so it just flies out.
Yeah. Like, I see you're also on Blue Sky now.
I just joined. I'm trying to figure it out.
I made an account, but I probably realistically won't post anymore on there. I mean, I don't know if I need another social media platform to just try to keep up with.
I feel that. That's kind of where I'm at. But it's set up the same, too, so it's not like you have to learn. It's not like TikTok. You got to learn how to use it. Like, Blue Sky's... It's just Twitter, but not like... I
feel like most of the time on Twitter, I'm just talking to myself anyways. So it's like...
Well, yeah, that's the best part.
It is what it is. But yeah, so I was kind of searching through Twitter. You posted a lot of stuff that I wanted to ask about, like just like some cool people you opened up for. Sure. Like you opened up for like DMX. I wrote it down, like Bone Thugs. Mm-hmm. You said Bone Thugs was joking on you too. We can get into all that. You opened for Cassidy. Yeah. I want to get into all this, but... maybe we can just start with, because I know you're a golf player. I've been seeing you post about Get Loose Golf a lot.
Yeah.
Is that your company? What is Get Loose Golf?
Yeah, so I got two partners in it. Two guys I've known a long time, really good dudes, and we're all kind of good at certain things to help this thing move along. But it kind of started, I was going on a golf trip with one of my buddies. We were flying to Tampa in the wintertime. So I was trying to get some practice cuts in, and you can't golf in January in Virginia sometimes because it's rough out there. So I looked up, I Googled golf simulators. I was like, there's got to be somewhere hidden. There was two in like all of Hampton Roads at the time, and they were both they're just kind of iffy.
Like indoor stuff?
Yeah, and they were just they're like 12 years old, so they're old, beat up. Like the computer shocked me when I was using it. I was like, nah. So my partner had a property. He was like, man, I got to figure out a business to put in here. And so I had just happened to be Googling all this simulator stuff because I had just been to one. And I was like, you should put a simulator in here. And we went on that golf trip. We talked about it. We came back, and it was full force. So we're doing merch. We got an indoor simulator space. So basically you and 4 buddies can go in there. You can goof around and play, or you can play 18 holes. You can play some of the best courses in the area, private courses you can't even get on in real life. But the cool thing is you're not just going to a driving range and hitting a bucket of balls into a field. You're actually getting like feedback from computer programs and data.
What kind of feedback?
Like your backspin, how you're hitting the ball. Basically, if you want to get better at golf, it's the best way to do it the fastest.
So in there is not the actual field. It's one of those ones where there's like a monitor type thing.
Right, it's got a big hitting mat. Yeah, you hit into the mat, but it's got a launch monitor that reads all the stats and basically tells you how your swing looks. But pros can come in there, they can look at these metrics and be like, yeah, you need to do this, this, and this, and it'll fix your swing.
So is it more of like advanced players that go in there, or is it just upcomers too, or anybody?
my goal is to open it up to everybody. Like, if you want to learn how to play golf, instead of just going to a golf course and like stumbling through it, like, we're going to offer golf 101 courses. So like, hey, here's what to expect when you get to a golf course. Here's how to work it. Like, you go inside, you pay first, get your golf cart, put your bags on the cart, and then you go to hole 1. And then here's how you play the game. Here's what's expected from the other players on the course while you're playing. And just kind of giving people a bit of a head start before they just kind of, because that's how I did. I just went and kind of got yelled at, like, by a bunch of old angry white guys, like, hey, what the hell are you doing? Like, and I know how that feels, so I don't want anybody else to have to, you know what I'm saying?
I actually just watched that. What's that Adam Sandler movie where he was playing golf?
Happy Gilmore.
I just watched that for the first time with my girl, like, last week.
Classic.
Yeah, she was like, have you not seen this? We were just going through some Adam Sandler movies that I haven't seen.
Right.
Yeah, she was pretty funny.
Oh, it's real good.
I think the first one I seen was, do you remember that Adam Sandler movie when he was like a stand-up comic on a yacht or some shit, or on like a cruise? This was one of his first movies. Like, this is the first one I've seen from him. It's I think IMDb gave it like a 1.8 rating, but it's like one of his originals. So, okay, at Get Loose Golf, where is it? Is there only one simulator in there? Can only like one party go at a time?
Yeah, so
or
it's basically a simulator suite. So kind of my goal is to, there's a lot of these golf bars popping up, and I don't want people getting blue cheese dressing on my golf clubs, like, while they're eating wings.
Wait, what do you mean?
Because these bars are serving like full-on entrees, like scallop risotto, and then
other bars, and they have simulators too.
Right, they're kind of popping up. That's the new thing popping up. I want to be like an Anytime Fitness of golf. So like, my guys, once you join, you get a key card, and there's a scanner on the front door. You set a tee time online, and that place is yours. So it's 24/7 for people who join. But you can go in, you can work on your game, or you can take some friends in there, and it's a man cave, basically.
Is there food and drinks in there or no?
We got a couple refrigerators, so it's going to be kind of like, I would like to have it members only, so people can come in there and kind of, throw your beers in there if you're having beers, or bring your water bottles, throw them in the fridge. And then my goal is to have like a little sandwich menu for the members. But other than that, it'll just kind of self-serve for now. Our plan is to open up a couple more. Virginia Beach and out here in Newport News is my goal.
So open up more locations.
Yeah, I'd like to have 3 at least is the goal.
Are these new locations supposed to maybe? Do you want to have like more simulators in there, or
I
just
think
keep
so,
it?
yeah,
with one?
probably 2 to 3. Nothing crazy like some of these other spots that they got like 10 and 12. Like, that's you more running a restaurant with entertainment, and that's not. I don't want to be in that business.
I'm just thinking of like, because I haven't really seen. Only the golf stuff I've seen. Okay, like actual golf courses. You have the like putt, which is like mini golf.
Right.
Then around here you have Top Golf. I don't know if Top Golf is like a nationwide thing or just out here.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah, maybe what are some like? How would you differentiate that with like Top Golf crowd? Like, so why would they enjoy this?
Like, Top Golf is more like golf entertainment. So you can take people there. You don't necessarily have to play golf to enjoy it naturally. You don't necessarily have to do that at my spot either. So it kind of comes with, if you want to take some friends in there and have a good time, you can. We have TVs in there. We've got recliners. We got PlayStation 5 in there with, a couple chairs and stuff. So there's other stuff to do if, your buddy isn't an avid golfer. But golf has been one of the hottest industries out right now. Like, more people are playing. There's more money being dumped in it. Brands are getting more creative.
Did the Saudis get into it yet?
Oh, heavy. That's the biggest drama out right now is the 2 golf leagues out are all Saudi funded. Like, it's nuts.
What's the drama with it?
So there was the PGA was basically like if the NBA had a second league split out and like 10 of the top stars left the NBA.
To go play for this Saudi league.
To this new league they're basically trying new formats of golf tournaments and stuff. It's pretty cool, but they're the anti-golf establishment. So they got DJs out there playing music instead of guys out there telling people to be quiet. You're allowed to wear shorts in the Live Golf League, but not in the PGA. They're like the more traditional golf league, but the Live Golf is kind of the new thing. But the thing we're talking about now is merging them both down the road, so that way, because sometimes some of the golfers weren't being qualified for some of the tournaments because of the road they picked.
Yeah, I've been seeing I think they're doing it with other sports too. Like the Saudis just have so much money, they're just buying up all the like top
sports entertainment,
athletes.
Man.
Yeah, like
a lot of money in it.
I don't know. I mean, I guess if the athletes are getting paid more, I mean, if it's a cooler watching experience for the fans, I mean, I don't know.
Right. I'm all about more options. So I mean, who's to say what's the best just because we've only had one option the whole time? Like, yeah, of course the PGA is the best. But if we're not going to give other leagues a shot, like I'm all about, because there's a couple times a year where there's no sports. Like put the league in that time frame, you know what I mean? Like you can kind of branch it out year round, so that way there's always some form of sports entertainment to watch.
I think that's what. Are you hip to Ice Cube's Big Three?
Yeah.
I think that was kind of his idea with that. Like, I want to say it's on the off season,
right?
For like, it's on the NBA off season.
More older skewed too, like retired players
that are still fire.
Yeah,
like maybe not good enough to play a whole full court game, but when you put them in a half court, shorter game, they're just still crazy. Like, you're not going to beat them. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
I know with Ice Cube there was a like the NBA was like trying to block the Big Three success in some way. I don't really know all about it.
They didn't want to give up market share. That's all. Just how much of the money out there.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay, so we talking about golf. You mentioned earlier that you started DJing at VCU. Mm-hmm. Maybe we can go back to those days. I also saw you tweeted. I wrote this down that you tore your rotator cuff playing D1 baseball, mm-hmm. and you bought turntables that month off a MySpace bulletin.
Yeah.
Also, yeah. So take us back to those days, and also my dad. It's funny because my dad just had rotator cuff surgery like a month ago.
Yeah, I never got the surgery. I just kind of let it ride. And
really.
But yeah, I was playing at VCU. I walked on, but my shoulder they kept moving me around position, so it changed my arm angle a lot, and I could throw low 90s, so it kind of cut me up.
Pitcher?
No, I was an outfielder, and then I started catching down the road. But yeah, just the way it panned out. I was a third string catcher at the time. They had 2 scholarship guys ahead of me, so like it was an uphill battle. But then I just wanted to stay, kind of finish out school.
So D1 is in college. You're playing in college.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. But when I hurt my shoulder and I stopped playing that same month, I'm on MySpace scrolling so you can see people's bulletins, their posts or whatnot. And this guy puts up a bulletin. He's like, turntables for sale. And I was like, oh shit, anytime I saw him at a party or something, I'd be mesmerized. Like, oh, I want to learn how to do that. So this dude, I didn't even have a car at the time, which is like the funniest part. He lived like 8 blocks away from me. He's like, yeah, come get, I'll sell you the whole rig for $150.
You walked over there?
Yeah, I walked 8 blocks. And the bad part was it wasn't like cases. It was one case, like the big coffin. So it was like this big, full of gear, 2 turntables, mixer, wires. And I just threw that thing on my back. Just trucked it 8 blocks. Yeah, back to the crib.
And this is one of those this like the original like turntable.
Belt like drive. DJs will understand what this was. It was $150 for the coffin, 2 belt drive turntables, and an old Newmark 2-channel just basic mixer. So the whole thing retail was probably worth about $700, $800.
Oh, so you got a deal on it then?
Oh, hell yeah. He bought it for his girlfriend, and she was like, what the fuck is this? Like,
she didn't even like.
She's like, I didn't ask for this. He's like, oh.
Like trying to live vicariously through his girl.
Thought you would like it.
So you walk back 8 blocks with this case.
On my back, yeah. And then I had a half a crate of records from me just buying them out of interest, and I just turned a knob, see what they did, and
do you remember what the first record you put on your turntable was?
Yeah, it was a raucous record. I think it might have been 199, the Common Talib record. I had a couple Roots records, some Mos Def records, some Neptunes records, obviously, and then I had maybe 20 records to my name, and I was just trial and error, seeing what everything did. And then YouTube taught me most everything, and then just following some of the local guys around, DJ B, Baby Drew. Those are all guys I learned from.
Side note on Common, he's actually, I don't know if you watched his show Silo. Common's in it. He's good. He does a really good job in it.
He's a good actor, that's for sure.
So what year was this that you're getting this stuff off the MySpace bulletin? Had to be
2006,
7?
6, yeah. No, this was 2005. Yeah, 2004, 2005.
I was in 5th grade.
So yeah, I bought my turntables 20 years ago, yeah.
Yeah, I was in 5th grade when you started DJing. That's
I was
funny
a sophomore in college, yeah. Freshman in college, yeah.
So, okay, you get these turntables. You start messing around with them. What was it from there? Like, when was like your first gig, or what'd you do from there?
So I started, I don't know if he knows this yet, but my guy, there's a restaurant in Richmond called the Corner Bar and Grill. It's a soul food restaurant in Richmond, Jackson's Ward. So I used to bounce there. I was underage. They didn't know that, but I was the bouncer checking IDs, like 19, 20 years old. And then the DJ there, he left or he moved. So I took over DJing Thursday nights, and my first time I ever DJed in this place. There's only like 6 tables. It could fit maybe 50 people in there, like really tiny. He gave me $50, and I brought in my $150 rig with my 1 crate of records with a 3-disc changer and 2 house speakers, and we had a blast. But from there, I took my $50. I walked to Plan 9 Music in Richmond, bought more records. just slowly built up my vinyl catalog through that gig. And then I moved back here in like 2008, I think. I moved back to Norfolk. I started working at Scotty Quick's. I was there for like 12 years on Saturdays.
What is Scotty Quick's? I saw you tweet about that too, but I don't know what that is.
It's a bar on Granby Street. Back when Granby Street was popping, there used to be, 6-7 bars. So when you went to Granby Street, you would go and hit 4 of them on a night. But Scotty Quick's, I was there on Saturdays for so long to where I didn't have to promote it. Like it was its own beast. So I would just keep showing up and it's lying out the door every week. It was a blast. But I could get away with pretty much playing anything in there, and the crowd was always responsive.
I feel like that's what you have going on at Duck Dive right now.
Duck Dive's a blast. Seaside was, Scotty Quick's used to be, I'm telling you, shoulder to shoulder. I mean, way over, not over capacity, but it was packed in there because they moved the tables around and it was just one long bar in there. And that place, by 12 o'clock, that place is rocking.
It's funny you were a bouncer underage. It's like you get turned away from the club by an underage bouncer that he doesn't even have an ID.
I got paid in alcohol too.
You got what?
Got paid in like beer. I didn't even get paid money. Yeah, I was just in college. I didn't want to have to buy the beer, so yeah, I'll just go to this bar and work for it. Yeah, it's cool.
So you're kind of getting these like almost like I would call them residencies, where you're like the go-to DJ for a place,
right?
Is that just by you're just building connections with these like these venue owners? Yeah,
I mean, working in this area in this industry, it's hard to find people who are good for their word and like good for the money that they'll talk about. So I've been around. I've done most of the venues in Norfolk and Virginia Beach. I haven't really ventured as far on this side of the water. I've done some stuff in Williamsburg and Hampton, just not as often. But once I met people that did good business, I would try to keep those people because they're rare, they're hard to find, and it's hard to find people who would understand my ideas that I would pitch. Like if I wanted to bring a guest DJ in there, some places were like, "Nah, we're paying you. You're the DJ." Like they weren't open to new stuff. So Scotty's, they didn't tell me what kind of music to play, whereas everybody else in town was trying to tell you play top 40, don't play rap, don't do this, don't do and I won't feed into that.
I've heard of places like that too. Like they will purposefully not play rap to like avoid black people coming to the venue.
Right. There's a few venues like that, which
it's like so you get just like a big group of black people that love country music. It's like, no, we ain't here either way. Like, fuck it.
It's more of those like corporate bars, those big ones, like in certain parts of town that the city seems to support more. And I've DJed for those places a couple times, and it goes so much further than that.
What do you mean?
Their intent. So like this one place had a song bank. So where I couldn't even bring in my own gear, I had to use their computer mouse and their songs. And they would remove the rap features from pop songs. And you had to play 60-40 country pop.
What's 60-40? Oh, the percentage.
60% country, 40% pop. But all the pop songs that had rappers on them had the rap verses removed. And corporate would go through your playlist at the end, and if you weren't 60-40, you wouldn't get booked anymore.
What are some examples of venue owners' good business practices that would make you want to work with them more?
Like
you said, they let you work on your ideas,
right? And then no creativity restrictions, and then how they treat customers. Like if you got a mad strict dress code, or I see you treating certain people differently, then I'm out. Because I grew up in Norfolk. All my friends are different. Like all my friends, most of the friends I grew up with, like even in elementary school, Black and Puerto Rican. So I'm not going to a place that's only going to cater to certain people in certain classes. That's a deal breaker for me.
I feel the same way. Like even growing up in this area in Newport News, like we grew up with all different types of people.
Right.
I always felt like my generation was on some like racism is dead type shit. But then somehow you get, I'm getting older now, so I'm kind of just paying attention more to like politics in the world. It's funny how somehow racism always finds its way back. Or it's like they're pushing it on a new generation in a weird way.
Yeah, once I started going to Chesapeake and like other cities, I was like, ooh, what? It's odd to me. I can't understand. I can understand a different upbringing. I just can't understand being closed off to things like that.
So you've been doing this for 20 years. I guess you've kind of went through the different technology in DJing too, like these different types of turntables.
And so I started on vinyl based on budgeting, like, and then I think I got Serato in like 2007, and then it was off to the races. Like my creativity just exploded because I wasn't limited to what records I had. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's funny too. If like you get paid like $50 to spend somewhere, but you got to spend like $300 on just the vinyls.
So here's the deal: like this place that they were paying me $50 on Thursdays for that night, but then I could come in Monday through Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and eat for free. So I was in college, and this place had banging food. So I was like, "Yo, it's I'm good." Like, it's the long money. You can't just
Not for sure. The long game. I'm very much into the long game. Okay, so you're just running around the city, building these connections, DJing at different spots, kind of building relationships with venue owners.
So I used to be a beer man. I used to drive the beer truck for Miller Lite, and kind of it went hand in hand. So anytime there was a new bar opening up, I was one of the first guys in there. I'd meet the owners. I knew who's cutting the check. So that really, I ran Norfolk and Virginia Beach for Miller Lite. So that was kind of the secret weapon that I had in my back pocket was I already knew these bar owners. They knew me. And then push come to shove, it would come around either if I introduced the idea or they found out other ways. They'd be like, oh, you want to come in and DJ? So that's how I made a lot of the connections in town.
Were you actually a Miller Lite drinker or you just worked for them?
Well, we sold like 40 brands. So we did Miller, Coors, Heineken, Corona. So the cool spot was any of these places, like I was in charge of the beer rotation. So if anything was getting close to old age, I would just use that on my tab. So I was like, yeah, give me 2 Amstel Lights. Like,
what's your beer choice?
I came up in Richmond drinking PBR, but that's because it was $1 everywhere. But I'm not opposed to anything as long as it's cold, to be honest.
What do you think makes a great DJ?
Man, selflessness, to be honest, because you're not there to play what you like. Because if I was, it'd be some elevator ass music all night. I'd be playing some old school shit, not even some exciting shit, just shit I like. But the thing is, you got to be ready for anything too, because you could prepare a whole set for something, and then 100 cowboys walk in or something. The club ain't gonna go off to your playlist if you just stick to your guns. So I try to keep a little bit of everything in the tuck if I need it, just so I can make sure everybody in there is gonna react. So my come up, I had a few bar owners who kind of taught me the bar business. So I incorporate that into my set sometimes. And it's not just how many hot songs can you play in a row. Like, oh man, you killing it. If you're killing it too much, the bar ain't gonna make any money. You ain't gonna get booked again.
Why? Because they're dancing too much and not drinking?
Yeah. So some of my sets, depending on where I'm at, like there's sometimes where a creative set is that's what you're booked for. But sometimes you're there to be the music for a bar. You're there to entertain everybody in there. But part of doing that too is to drive people to spend money in the bar. So I would play 4 or 5 hot ass records and then play 2 rock songs.
Give them a second to go to the bar.
And they'd be like, what the fuck is this? And then those people who like the fire records, they go to the bar, and whatever weirdos were at the bar waiting for this weird rock song, they on the dance floor now. So you just kind of cycling people in and out. And then I play 2 country songs or 2 R&B songs. If you cycle it like that, you can make some money in this
I never
business.
thought about it that way.
Yeah. So
give people a break to go to the bar, go to the bathroom, go smoke a cigarette maybe.
Yeah.
100 cowboys might walk in or 100 grandmas.
That's what you got. You've seen it.
We have a real life example of that. Can you pull that up, Karen?
You've seen it.
Pull up the grandmas that were at CanRock set, because I took a picture with them. Pull up the tweet first.
There was like 40 of them, bro.
So bro was like, there's 30 women,
30 grannies in the bar.
30 grannies throwing ass at Duck Dive. I'm in tears. So I was like, wait, I got to go see this for myself. I pull up, we take a picture, gang shit, Go to the video too, because he just said he tries to keep the crowd happy, but these elders had a song request, and I want to say you ignored them. Why'd you ignore these old ladies like this,
Gabe,
sir?
I think Gabe played it after me because we were switching our sets.
You can leave it turned down, but yeah, so that was like, what do they want to hear?
Akon?
Bro, I'm gonna be honest. Duck Dive is a great time, bro.
It's a blast.
How did you get there? How'd you get involved with them? Because I feel like you're kind of like their go-to DJ. I feel like you're there like every weekend. Me and my girl love going there. Like y'all play good music. We always go there.
Good too. It's a good.
We haven't ate there yet, but we have a great time. We always dance. Have a great time.
The steak bowl's off the chain.
Why is Duck Dive so popping right now? And how'd you get involved with them?
I knew Liza. She's the GM there. She kind of they were just trying to find out who they were, and they were booking different things throughout the couple months. And then I booked it took me a couple months, but I booked a night in there, And then a couple months later, I booked another night, and she was like, "Let's do, like, you want to do a regular gig?" I was like, "Yeah, let me do like every other Friday or something." And since then, I think I've been there. I think they just did their 2 years. I think I've been there a little over a year.
Oh, they've only been open for 2 years?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're still brand new. They're just redeveloping that whole area over there. But yeah, the owners are great. That, like I said, I try to find people who are open to doing good business, and then they kind of let me be who I am too, because I'm not there to change Duck Dive either. So I don't. They've always kind of catered to the same crowds as me too. So
from what I see, Duck Dive is one of those places where just like the regular person goes. It's not like, there's certain venues out here where it's like mainly creatives niche. Will go there.
Right.
Like tonight at Seaside. It'll probably be mainly creatives there. People that are involved in some way with the creative scene.
Some form, yeah.
Duck Dive is one of those places where just a regular 9 to 5 person.
Man, when I start my set there, usually everybody in there is over the age of 50. So I'm starting my set at 9:30, and I'm playing Motown. I'm playing 80s, 90s. I'm trying to see what I can get them moving on. And then as the younger kids move in, I filter the music up that way. But yeah, when I start there at Duck Dive, people are still eating dinner. Like it's a vibe spot. They got a little acoustic jammer in there. But it's super diverse. They don't book the same things all the time, which is cool. Keeps it fresh. I don't like when spots rely on DJs 7 nights a week either.
What else is there to do? Because I've only been there on nights that you're spending.
I mean, they have bands. They'll have punk rock bands in there. They'll do, they have acoustic nights. I've seen reggae bands in there. They got 2 pool tables, dartboards. So there's other stuff to do besides just kind of rage, I guess.
What do you think DJ's role is in like a creative scene? Because I've been saying like kind of like for 2024, we've had less events with like artists performing. It's been mainly like DJs throwing events, and they're the ones that are getting people out and like giving us fun shit to do. How do you look at that, and then like what a DJ's role is in a creative scene, or like blowing up artists? Like, should they be playing local artist music, like that type of stuff?
That's a good question, and that's multifaceted. So I don't know if there's one role a DJ plays. It kind of depends on the event, like, because I've played multiple roles to where I'm the headliner, where I'm the background music, not even visible to people, where I've done a recorded playlist for an event. Like, I've done wineries in Williamsburg to where I recorded the set prior to, and then they played it in the background, but they paid better than the club. But then I've done
winery.
Yeah. And then I've done concerts to where I'm the headliner at the Norva, and people are coming to the last set's me. But then I've done furniture stores. I've done Tides baseball games.
I saw that tweet. Like, you had a long ass list of different shit you spun at.
Nuts. Yeah, don't like turn down a bag.
Hardware stores. I screenshot. I didn't send it to you yet.
Yeah, don't turn down a bag.
Keep going.
I DJ'd a Christmas party for a granite countertop company, and my DJ setup was in between 2 20-foot slabs of rock. And I was so scared that, I was like, did y'all secure these? Like, how are these? But I'm not going to turn down any kind of opportunity that might expose me to something new.
What about like playing local music?
I've always been this dates me a bit, but back when Time Lounge was open, that's how long I've known Gabe, Rebel E, all those guys, Burke Visual. We were doing a lot of local shit. Like we were doing it back then. It was 7 or 8 of us on a lineup on a Tuesday night at a nightclub because they didn't trust us to run a weekend night. And then over time, we kind of built up our reputations and earned the trust to get our own gigs. So it's like, I know there's a lot of new kids on the scene to kind of see how we move in. It might seem like we got a lot of opportunities, but it's just a matter of time before you get out there, and you got to ask for the business. That's a lot of things that I see, like, especially on Twitter, is like, it's kind of like the half-ass whine cry. It's like, oh, I really wish I would get this opportunity. It's almost like wishful thinking out loud. Like, go ask for it. Like, ask somebody. And the first thing you're going to learn is when somebody says no, that's when the learning starts. But yeah.
And also, it's like proving yourself, not even proving yourself, but like putting your time in, like paying your dues. You've been doing this for fucking 20 years. Gabe's been doing this for over 10 years.
Yeah,
so it's like
exactly.
people will get into something, do it for like a few months, a year, and it's like want to be on the biggest stages or want to get all the notoriety. But when there's people that have been doing it for so many years.
That almost ruins the journey for me. Like if you like if you do everything in the first year, then you're gonna leave. You're gonna go somewhere else. Like you don't have to leave to be successful in this business. You got to be smart. You got to use your brain. You got to have some sort of sales to your craft. I think that's one of the biggest disconnections in the area. Is a lot of people are really great artists, but they don't know how to sell their product.
sell themselves, sell
right,
the product.
Right.
Yeah.
So if you are a professional anything, like what's your product? What are you selling to the consumer?
And also, I think be comfortable with asking for help. Like you're saying, asking for opportunities. Like somebody says no, like don't take it personal.
No.
Keep working. I've had to figure that out myself. Kind of just get over like I'm cool. I'll ask somebody for help if I need something. Like I'll ask. If you say no or if it's not working out at that time, like I won't take it personal. Can you pull up that list real quick of this places that he spun out? I want to read some of these.
The tweet.
It's the tweet, bro. I got a lot of your tweets screenshotted right now. Zoom in on that a little bit.
No, these are all legit.
Bro said, okay, so this is some places that he's done gigs at. Car dealerships, glass blowing studios, funny,
Hall,
breweries galore, minor league baseball stadium, college football stadium, NFL. Which NFL game? Which NFL football stadium?
Me and Cheap Thrills did a pregame party at FedEx Field for a Redskins game like 8 years ago.
What's their new name?
The Commanders.
They should have kept it, but a ferry boat. I feel like that's random as fuck.
The ferry boat downtown Norfolk. It was a Christmas party.
A moving tow truck in a parade, skate park, law office, marina, coffee shop. Keep going down. Yoga studio, golf course. He had a whole second tweet to it.
Yeah.
Church. What kind of music were you playing at church?
That's kind of like a private banquet. Like it was, but I count it because I mean it's a paid gig. But they were using it as a private event space. I won't DJ in the ceremony or the mass.
Schools, strip clubs. I just went to the strip club with DJ Clockwork.
I seen that
the other night. They were not showing titties in there, but it's all good. It's all good. Art studios, Victoria's Secret. That's random. What the hell?
Yo, they used to book me regularly for all their like midnight sales.
And you'd be in the store, like in the mall?
In the store, like next to the perfume, I'd be set up and they'd have the gate down and there'd be like 100 to 200 women in line waiting
to see you or get to Victoria's Secret.
It ain't have nothing to do with me. I don't know what I would just DJ for like 2 hours while they'd shop. It was bananas. Yeah.
Dick's Sporting Goods, Amphitheater, Concert Hall, Granite, Countertop Warehouse, Fishing Boats, Little League games. That's crazy.
Yeah, but I tweeted that because somebody was like, "Oh, this club shit's getting tired." I'm like, "Yo, you don't ever have to DJ at a nightclub if you don't want to." I mean, they usually don't pay the best compared to a lot of other spots. But yeah, that was kind of the inspiration behind that tweet. I was seeing some frustration about nightclubs. Yeah,
we did an episode with Clockwork recently, and he was kind of telling us about just the different kinds of DJs, like touring DJs, club DJs, just like regular DJs. What would you, I guess, consider yourself? Would you consider yourself more of a club DJ or?
For the most part, that's the bulk of it. And then I know open format's kind of driven in the ground, but that's kind of what I hung my hat on most of my career. Is I could do
what's open format?
Any genre.
Okay.
So I did country clubs for a few years when Eagles Nest was in Virginia Beach. I used to DJ there a lot. I've done EDM shows. I've opened up for Bauer and I'm trying to think of who else. A few other EDM when that sound was really moving. And then I've done rap shows, I've done pop shows, I don't turn down a bag if it's right. And I want to learn new experiences. I want to get in front of new people to see how they react to different stuff, to see how I can improve my game.
Can we get into some of these stories of you opening up for some of these people?
Yeah, for sure.
Who do you want to start with? What was your, I guess, first kind of big person?
The funniest one for me was The Weeknd.
Okay.
My fault. So I was working for Miller Lite at the time, and the Norva was one of my accounts. So I'm in there on a random, I think it was like a Tuesday or Thursday. This is back in 2012. And I'm throwing beer in the cooler, and I get a call from the Norva while I'm in the Norva cooler, throwing the beer in there, and I'm like, hello? They're like, yeah, is this DJ CanRock? And I was like, yeah. They're like, are you available tonight to open for The Weeknd? And I like look back at my phone. I was like, what the fuck are they talking about? I was like, I'm downstairs. I'll be up there in just a minute. And they were confused at that point. So then I walk upstairs. I'm in my Miller Lite costume. And they're like, are you DJ CanRock? I was like, yeah. Well, not right now. Like, I'm Kyle Siebels right now. Like, but yeah, I am. And they were like, oh, are you available tonight? I was like, yeah, I'll be off in like an hour. So I'll run home, grab my shit. They're like, oh, okay, cool. Come downstairs and you can meet him. I'm like, of course. Like, I'm going to meet him in the... So I go down to meet The Weeknd. I'm in a Miller Lite.
Still in the uniform.
And I'm like, yo, what's up? I'm your opening act. He's like, all right. I was like, I'm not going to wear this. Like, I'm going to go home real quick. He's like, oh, okay, cool. And I was like, sorry, this is weird. But yeah, I went home, I changed, I come back. So when he came, he kicked out like all the Norva Sound people. He brought all his own sound engineers. He brought all his own like security backstage. So it was just me and the weekend. And it was probably 99% women in that crowd shrieking. I've never heard noises like that because this is when he was still on the come up. Crew Love had just come out. But yeah, I got to play, I was playing a bunch of old school R&B. Really, it was a blast. It was a cool opportunity though.
Bro said, who the fuck is this Miller Lite guy? Like, what is this? Like,
but it was dope. It was cool. It was a dope show.
Yeah. Okay, so that was 2012.
Yeah.
What about, who else we got up here? You said you opened for DMX.
Yeah, that was a good one. Me and Big K. Big K had an opening set, and then I was supposed to do a 30-minute set, which DMX isn't known to be on time. So the 30-minute set turned into an hour and 30 minutes. So like, after when opening acts start going on too long, like I've been there. I don't like seeing opening acts for a very long time either. So after the first hour, I kind of understood what was happening. I was like, the crowd's starting to get restless. So I hopped on the mic. I was like, look, I don't want to be up here anymore either. But DMX is late, so I'm going to keep rocking. Is that cool? I try to feed into the crowd to keep them on my side. And then lo and behold, you could tell there was some ruffles off stage. They were kind of kicking people out of the backstage area because DMX was about to come out. And then his DJ pulls up, DMX pulls up. They kick everybody out, but they let me and Big K stay on the stage and watch the whole show. Which was...
What year was this?
That was probably a couple years after, maybe 2014, 2015. But yeah, all the lights go off and slipping turns on. I'm like, oh shit. Like, it's
great.
It's wild. It was cool.
Who's Big K?
He's a battle rapper from Norfolk. He actually just won Battle Rapper of the Year last year.
Really?
He's...
on what, like...
URL.
On your URL?
He does King of the Dot, or he used to be on URL. He does King of the Dot. I forget. There's so many of these leagues now. I
got to tap in with bro. It's funny because you actually opened up for Cassidy too. I wanted to ask about that, but I remember when
for Cassidy,
you DJ for him, like you were his DJ on stage.
Yeah, that night.
I definitely want to get into that, but I remember when Cassidy had that battle with what's that last battle he had? Hitman Holla.
Oh yeah,
just like a couple years ago.
Him.
He battled him. He battled Hitman Holla. Did he win?
I don't remember that one off top, but if you haven't seen any of Big K's battle, you are in for a treat.
I gotta tap in. He's from Norfolk?
He is vicious, man.
Okay.
And he's like top 3 funniest dudes I've ever met.
We actually have that's crazy, bro. His name is slipping my mind right now, but he has a battle rap league in Richmond. You know about this?
Yeah, Radio B.
Radio B.
Yeah.
We have a pod with him coming up. But so now I was saying is I remember when Cassidy had the battle with Hitman Holla a few years back, and then like following that battle, because it got like a lot of hype.
Right.
It was like these meetings Cassidy was having with like all these different battle rappers, and they were talking about creating a league and like doing all this stuff, but like nothing ever happened with it.
Yeah, I'm not sure about his league, but I have been following. There's more and more popping up. It's basically whoever's got the budget to kind of kick to these top tier battlers. But Big K has run through all of the top tier.
He's from Norfolk?
Yeah.
He's
from the neighborhood next door to mine. Like I met him through a Twitter beef. Like somebody.
What Twitter beef?
It was like I tweeted something and he like said something slick back. I was like, yo, who the fuck are you?
Oh, you were beefing with him?
Yeah, I didn't know who he was. I had met him.
Bro's about to drop a
we were
diss
just
track.
talking shit, but then I didn't even know this battle league shit existed. I was thinking like freestyle battling, like just in your house. And I was like, yo, nobody checking for like no freestyle battlers. He's like, I'm the nicest in the area. I was like, okay, cool. Like, but then we saw him out. We saw him out somewhere one night, and I was like, "Yo, like it's no hard feelings. Like I'm not out here to make enemies."
Bro, so what's that shit you were saying on Twitter? Like, yeah, I'm right here now.
He's good people though. I fuck with him heavy.
No, that's fire. So how was it, or like how'd you get to open or DJ for Cassidy?
That was through Shag. Shag had a connect with him.
Shaggy from Z104?
Yeah, Shaggy from Z104. So Shaggy called me. I was out at the bar like drinking with my homeboy in Ocean View. And I get a call from Shaggy. He's like, yo, are you available tonight? I'm like, yeah. Like, what's going on? He goes, oh, Cassidy needs a DJ. I'm like, man, shut the fuck up. Like, I didn't believe him at first. I was like, I think I saw that show. It was Mobb Deep, Freeway, and Cassidy on the same ticket at the Norva. He's like, yeah, he needs a DJ, though. His DJ's sick or something, can't make it. I was like, bet I'm there. I left the bar right then, went and got my stuff, went to the Norva, got there for sound check. But Cassidy was driving in, so he didn't get there till like right at showtime.
Is he from Philly?
Yeah. So I'm sitting in the green room just by myself. And after about 45 minutes, Prodigy knocks on the door. He's like, yo, man, I know Cassidy's not here, but if you want to come kick it with us, you're more than welcome. And I was like, yeah, absolutely. So it's me, Havoc, Prodigy, like 6 of the dudes from their camp, Freeway, and a couple of dudes from his camp. And I'm middle school self is just like sweating. I don't what do I talk about? I love all you guys. Like,
is that what you said?
No. But I was a
about?
huge fan of all of it. They were just shooting the shit, just talking about the show, and it was just small talk. But yeah, it was cool.
Weak. So Cassidy gets there on time. Y'all do the show.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Freeway opened up. I do Cassidy's part, and then Mobb Deep comes on right after, and I'm just sitting back there watching this.
That's crazy. I always say my favorite rap battle of all time. Well, did you grow up watching battle rap?
No, not till I got in a Twitter beef with Big K. That's when I got put.
You got to go back and do your homework on Reed Dollaz versus Trigger.
Oh no, I know Reed Dollaz.
Have you seen that battle though?
Yeah.
I always fast forward through Trigger's parts.
What is it, like a convenience store or something?
I want to say they're in like a store somewhere.
Yeah,
might have been outside. No, they're in a store. Yeah, bro. I always skip through Trigger's parts.
Yeah, that's
Reed Dollaz. She's like, what do you say? Oh, you play the Family Man? I'll spray up the Family Van.
Yo,
I was like,
Reed Dollaz was vicious.
Reed Dollaz was
Big K is Reed Dollaz. Like I
level.
Think he's more vicious.
I got bro. Pull up Big K. Can we pull up a Big K battle?
Pull up Big. So this is a really old one. This is a really old one. He's got a lot of newer ones, but Big K versus 7:30. Do not waste your time watching 7:30 because it is. I'm telling you, it's awful.
Okay.
And Big K completely dismantles this man. That's it right there.
You could turn your laptop a little bit. Let's hear a little bit of this.
It's some of the funniest.
Does he start it off?
I think he does. But yo, he just goes right for your neck, off rip, and he don't let off until.
Oh, this on Smack.
You see, he was on No Jumper.
Who?
Big K.
Yeah. No, I'm telling you, he
was on No Jumper.
He won Battle Rapper of the Year.
2023.
It might have been. Yeah.
Fast forward a little bit. Go straight to the battle. Go to where he starts rapping at.
Before we even start, man, I just want everybody to know, man, I'm missing my brother's funeral for coming up here, man.
Wait, which one is him?
He's the white guy.
Oh, he's the white guy. You ain't tell me he was a white rapper.
Yeah.
Come on. Shout out to my white boys.
With that being said, fuck boy, dick sucker, loser, that fits you. I got a gym star that'll leak out every gallon of fluid that's in you. Cause you ain't nothing but food on that menu. I will smack this shit out you, then boot it back in you.
Yo, hold up.
I got a 100 shot drum and the clip is full.
Terrible.
I sick my wolves at his sheet, tell him get the wool. Shotgun pumps that can flip a bull. I'ma have body parts everywhere like a pick and pull.
That's crazy. The pick and pull bar. If you see a white boy with a white tee and his hat is like that,
bro,
he's there. He's on business. He's there. He means business.
Right hooks, left hooks, show stop.
So that line,
I gotta tap in with him.
line turned into like one of his signatures. He's like, I got your baby mama.
No boxes. I
got your baby mama
out of donuts.
Oh, you can probably hear him. That's crazy. Yo, you might gotta plug me in with bro.
He's a monster.
That's fire, huh?
Yeah.
Av?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so you're moving around the city. You're having these Twitter beefs with battle rappers.
Oh, it's all fun. Yeah.
No, I'm playing. Building relationships with venue owners. Have you? You know what's actually funny? Every DJ I know out here, nobody has done the like DJ drama. Well, Sweeney Dog does it, but like rarely do people actually do their own albums. Why did DJ stop doing that?
I don't know. I didn't know. I mean, I did a couple mixtapes back with some local rappers like over time, but other than that, I don't know, to be honest. I've never done one, to be frank. I just feel like it takes more time, it's more effort. That's a whole product that you're pushing out. So it's not, I'm never one to half-ass anything either. So it's, if I jump into it, I'm jumping both feet.
Also on the scene, so you've been doing it for a while. How do you look at like where the just 757 creative scene is right now compared to what it was back then? Like, would you say we have a scene? Like a lot of people still, I feel like, don't even see it. Like, I don't know.
That's the
what do you
thing.
think about the scene right now?
If you haven't seen it through the different times to where there was nothing, like we have more opportunity than ever. Like to me, especially for younger up and coming. I mean, there's festivals looking for untapped talent specifically. Like they're tired of putting the same acts on. But the fact that you have, I mean, nowadays we have multiple music festivals that come to this area, no matter what the genre is, but there are multiple. Even Something in the Water giving local stages to local artists to work, which I mean, Tap, I got to give Shag credit on that one. He was one of the first ones to create a show that gave local artists that opportunity to open up for a national act and didn't charge them $1,000 to do so. But that's like those shows, those didn't exist back when I was coming up. I mean, there were DJs not trying to let you in venues at all. Like when I was looking for gigs, they're like, yeah, you can go look elsewhere. Like, this is my bar. Like, I was like, oh, okay. But there's more. You got shows in furniture stores. You got Social Supplies shooting shots. You got DJing doing painting. I mean, we're mixing in multiple media outlets in one party. Like, that's the dopest to me out there. Like, we're all collaborating. That's what I think should happen more, is like just more collaboration. It's only going to help people if you work together. That's how I think all these other big cities got on. Atlanta, they all kind of, I'm not gonna say they rode for each other, but they worked
together enough. They collaborated enough.
They rocking records.
For me, it's also like building our internet presence up. That's what we try to do. And there's like other platforms out here now. You got like Who's Next 757. You got My Block Live, Social Supply.
Yeah,
it's like there's always been. Like even over the years, like I'm kind of tapped in now with some people, like, you know, some such as yourself that have been doing it for a while out here. Right. There's like different eras of 757 music, but I feel like we never really had, like, we always had dope people, but we never had like we never presented it to the world in the right way.
That's fair.
Like, we never really packaged it up right.
Yeah, it's hard. This area is tough. I feel like this market's like one of the most unique markets in the country.
In what way?
Well, our population's like tidal, just like the water is.
Tidal?
Yeah.
What do you mean?
We're the big military town, whether you like to acknowledge it or not. So when there's boats in here, there's a different buzz in the city. There's money being spent. There's more bodies. There's more heat on the street. But that being said, with a big military presence, a lot of people aren't here for a long time. So they're here for 10 years. Like 10 years sounds like a long time, but not based on like a hometown to where you can feel proud of something. So what I mean by tidal is like a lot of the population here there's no pride for this area because they're not from here. They might settle here and then they'll learn to love it. But as far as people sticking up for a hometown, it's hard because so many people are in and out of this area with military assignments and whatnot. So like I was one of the few that was never in the military. My parents weren't in the military. So like I'm a local boy to Norfolk, which is, I feel like that's in the minority as far as people who are from Norfolk, born and raised and stayed here.
As somebody that's from Norfolk, how'd you feel about that Keyshawn fight?
That was a top 3 event I've ever attended. As far as energy goes, as far as being a Norfolk event, like we in the scope, we got 3 Norfolk fighters on the bill. Young Crazy bringing out Kelvin.
I think Alonzo Jackson came out with, what did he come out with?
Came out with Keon.
Keon?
Yeah. Okay. The Booker T Washington Marching Band is in there.
Came
like
out
Mike
with
Vick's
Keyshawn.
in there, Pusha T's in there, Fam's in there, like Young Money Yawns in there. Like it was some buzz there. And the fact that you ain't seen a boxing match in Norfolk in 33 years.
Since we actually looked it up. So I did a little video on it.
P, right?
Sweet Pea Whitaker was the last fight in like 94. And it's also crazy because we had an episode with Clayton Cowell. I don't know if you know who that is. He was on The Voice. He's a singer from out here. Like a couple weeks ago, and his dad actually fought Sweet Pea Whitaker back in the day.
Wow, yeah. That's crazy. Sweet Pea's a legend. He's pound for pound. But he actually brought out, so that Booker T Marching Band, from what I heard, is a nod to Sweet Pea because Sweet Pea came out to Norfolk State's marching band during that fight.
Was he at the fight? Oh no, he died, right?
Yeah, he passed away.
He got hit by a car, I think.
Yeah. Bad News Bears. He was actually, so I DJ'd an event the night before the first Something in the Water. They had Usher threw a skate party at Haga at Shag Spot. And you know, there's celebrities everywhere in this place. Like almost every act that was on the bill that was in town was there. Chad Hugo's there, Pharrell's there, Fam's there, Pusha's there. I didn't take a picture with anybody all night except for Sweet Pea because I seen him in the corner. He was kind of hiding off so we wouldn't have to talk to people. And I ducked off, took a picture without making it obvious just so I could have it. Because I mean, growing up in Norfolk, he's one of the biggest names we got. But yeah, I love watching Sweet Pea, and it's cool to see Keyshawn kind of build that same. I mean, I don't know if it's the same excitement because I wasn't around back then, but everybody seemed very proud. Like in that whole, I mean, the scope was sold out. When's the last time you've seen the scope sold out for anything? Like, I haven't. It's been a minute.
No, I saw a big sense of pride from like all different types of people around that
Man,
event. Like I see that was like one event that I really saw people posting about it on Facebook. Like I rarely ever see like my friends on Facebook talking about some creative shit that's happening in the city.
Right. That's major. I mean, it was on ESPN. I forget which ESPN, but I mean that's big time.
You think the tank fight is gonna happen?
I would love for it to. That would be cool. I actually got to DJ one of his after parties up in DC. I happened to be in town.
Tanks?
Yeah. And Andrew Hypes had
Bro, switching sides. He's switching up.
No, never that. No, I wasn't even hired for this show. I just happened to be there. But Andrew Hypes was booked at this place called 12 Stories.
Oh, that's DJ on tour with Justin Timberlake right now, right?
Yep. That's my dog. So he hit me up. He's like, yo, I seen you in DC. Where you at? And I was like, shit. And I was at the restaurant literally across the sidewalk with my brother. So he's like, yo, come through afterwards. I was like, bet. So I stop in there and they start kicking people out the club. I was like, yo, what happened? It's like 11 o'clock. He's like, somebody bought the club out. I'm like, what the fuck does that even mean? Like, he's like, oh, Tank bought it out. Because right after his fight, and the club was empty from 11 to 1:30. 2 o'clock hit. And I mean, the elevator doors open. People just start pouring in. Lil Baby pulled up. Gold Link pulled up. I got to meet him there that night. Tank pulled up, but yeah, it was a vibe. It was cool.
I feel like you're always just ironically nearby when somebody calls you for a gig. Yeah. Like you're downstairs at the Norva. It's like, yo, come up here and meet the weekend. Like
my wife
in the Miller
I was driving to DC
uniform
for that trip, and my wife said something. She's like, "So what do you got planned tonight? Like, what are you gonna do? I know you got some cool shit lined up." I was like, honestly, I'm taking my brother out to dinner. It's his birthday, and then I'm going home. I got a room. I'm gonna go home and I'm gonna just relax and then wake up and drive back. And damn sure if I won't out till 6 a.m. that night, because I mean, Lil Baby's next to me. I'm spinning. DJ Flow was right there. Gold Link was there. And then I posted a picture. It was like, I think it was like 4:45 in the morning. And Lil Baby came up to me. He's like, yo, you want a picture? I'm like, yeah. Like, yeah, I'll get one. So I take a picture. I post it on Instagram. And she texts me like an hour later. She goes, I fucking told you.
You're gonna be doing some cool shit. You mentioned something in the water. You mentioned different festivals out here. Can you pull up that Instagram post that I put with the mayor of Virginia Beach? Fuck is going on with some in the water? What's his name? Bobby?
Yeah.
Just go to the off-road page. It's one of the first posts. So it's seeming like something in the water may not happen again. Let me read what this tweet said. Go down some. It's going to be the picture of the mayor. You'll see it.
This was a couple weeks back.
You see it? Yeah. So some guy posted on Twitter, something in the water could be off again. In a rare moment for Bobby Dyer, that's the mayor of Virginia Beach, right?
Right.
He says he is, quote, very angry. Something in the water has not met deadlines to come to agreement with City of Virginia Beach. He says if deal isn't reached Friday, he will move to pull the plug.
Sounds real.
What is going on? Because I actually was at the event.
Her face is my face when I was reading that tweet.
I should have included her in the gift. Scroll over to the gift that I made. Zoom out. Yeah, like what's going on with that? Because I was actually at the event. Like you see the flyer up there that him and Gabe spoke.
Right.
Seems like Gabe didn't have any pull with that. Like what happened?
Well, I don't know if it's so much that has to do with like that Gabe event. I think that was more of a table talk to kind of get some more conversations on the table, which we need to do more of, to be honest, especially in the city of Norfolk. Even though we pulled up 450 people deep and then they wanted to strike it from the agenda so nobody could speak on it.
Oh, at the city council?
Yeah.
I was there that day.
Yeah, that was wild.
Yeah.
I was the first one called. And I didn't know what striking it from the agenda meant. So I walked up, I was like,
mean?
You mean I can't talk? And they were like, mm-mm. I was like,
so wait, what is striking it? So what? Just so people don't know, like there was a bunch of venues started getting shut down in Norfolk, and a bunch of the creatives went to the city council,
right?
Or like what's the building called? Is this city council building?
Yeah, City Hall.
City Hall,
right,
and so to just speak about how that's impacting us, right?
Right. So the city of Norfolk was trying to turn any place that booked a DJ into technically a nightclub, regardless of what you were actually doing, and they're doing it based off city code, like. I mean, so just to give you a full spectrum of how the city of Norfolk and being a DJ is, when I was at Scotty Quick's one night, this was probably 8 years ago, the city of Norfolk came in with ABC and they were trying to ping them for overcapacity, serving something, any kind of ABC violations. They came through and the whole place was squeaky clean. So they wrote them a ticket for dancing because dancing in the city of Norfolk is still illegal.
Wait, what?
I think to an extent to where you have to have a designated dance floor marked out and on your fire escape plan. So like all the tables, when you go into a restaurant and they have all the tables everywhere, that's by code. They have to have them in certain areas for seating and for fire code.
So there's certain criteria that you have to meet in an establishment to allow dancing there.
Right, and you have to have a dance floor. So in Scotty Quick's, people everywhere are dancing. So they wrote Scotty Quick's a ticket for that, which I thought was super corny. But yeah, right, you're right. They did kind of go on a tear to where they were really being strict on the conditional use or the conditional use permit, which is basically anybody who sells alcohol and has entertainment has to have one. So we went down there to City Hall because they were basically trying to reclassify what DJs are, and it felt like we were kind of being banished to like only one thing. Like you can only do this, and it has to be in a nightclub. But if we're being honest, like how many real nightclubs are in Hampton Roads?
Yeah, put that a little bit to you.
Because I only know of a couple that are true nightclubs by definition.
I mean, like what, Peabody's? That's what I think when I think of a nightclub.
That's about it, to be honest. In the area, like there's no other nightclub.
So what would you consider Duck Dive?
That's a bar.
That's a bar.
Bar, tavern, maybe.
So but that's not included in the DJ.
Well, they're in Virginia Beach,
question.
So different governing and how they handle things. That's why my career, most of my gigs have shifted to the beach because the opportunities in Norfolk are few and far in between. Because if you've been downtown Norfolk, it's a ghost land after hours nowadays. There's a couple spots still, getting by.
There's a couple spots on Granby,
right? But Granby used to be, flooded.
Bro, it was flooded on what was that spot? Not Cure. It was the old what was that event that happened like last month? It was at the spot that was like the old Work Release, I think, spot.
Oh, Commune.
Yeah. That night was crazy.
Work Release was an era. That was a
You were around for that?
Yeah. I think I did the first night there with Doty.
The first ever Work Release night?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's crazy. I just saw Carrie Ann recently.
It was the first weekend. I don't know if it was the very first night, but yeah.
That's legendary. I have actually Carrie Ann coming up on the pod soon, but
she's awesome.
We met at Vinny's. Vinny had like an open mic recently. She kind of just ran me through the history of Work Release.
Bro, it's cool.
Which is kind of crazy. Dan, so you were one of the first nights there.
Mm-hmm.
That's insane.
So I'll tell you what the coolest thing about Work Release was. So I DJ'd there like all the time. a couple times a month at least. Every time I DJ'd there, I was in a different spot in the bar, or I was on a stage, or I was over here, and they'd move like they could shape that place so many different ways, and then they'd always have something different before me. So like one time they had like a horn group play, and then another time was a jazz group, and then another time was a rock band, another time was spoken word. Like every time I was there, it was new people in front of me. So that's what I really gravitated towards. There was one night where I found out like the CEO of Dollar Tree was in there drinking, and then he ended up dance battling like a kid that I knew that used to bust tables at Scotty Quick's. Like it was just the wildest pot of people in this place.
That's crazy.
But yeah, it was like an art. There's always it's an art gallery. Basically, there's always some cool installations in there. There's always some local art, but then there was some heavy hitters in there too. I mean, that was just a really, really cool time in the city.
Do you think Commune will start or like be able to kind of bring that energy back to there?
I don't know if you can match that.
Because that first night was crazy.
I don't know if you can match it. Right. But every time somebody tweets about Work Release, everybody's like, oh man. Because that's how real it was. I'm not saying it can't ever come back, but that was something that was consistent every week. Like that vibe every week.
Is there any venue that's even close to that, like right now?
Not multifaceted like Work Release was. I mean, you're supporting all types of artists simultaneously. I mean, at any given, you're talking about a place for creatives. Like that was the headquarters to me.
Going back to that tweet, do you think something in the water will happen 2025? I
think it's still a strong possibility. Yeah. I mean, I've helped with music festivals over the years. I helped Shag with Shagfest for quite a while. It's a tough game. I mean, and it's fast and slow at the same time. Like just trying to secure artists, shit changes fast. You got to fill in the gaps. Like, I mean, we had DMX on Shagfest one year, and then he got arrested. So we had like a month to find somebody. We ended up getting maced. Like, so I get it. And I think the main reason why they moved it is to get out of that big pool of music festivals all in a row. Because in the summertime, everybody's having a music festival.
What's the other ones? I know we have that like skateboarding thing that happens.
Jackalope. That is incredible, yeah.
That's fire. Then there's that one like country festival that happens.
Yeah, I'm not really sure.
I forgot what that's called. But they have a crazy turnout for that too. It's a big festival.
Right.
And there's something in the water, obviously. Mm-hmm. I don't know. I mean, I feel like also that they had to find the perfect date where it's not super hot and it's not fucking raining.
That's true.
That's
it's either
hard.
spring or fall, yeah. But there's no time where it's not gonna rain. You can't plan around rain. But I thought the October date was cool. I thought that was a good idea. I get how when shit doesn't line up, I understand it. But I think it'll still happen. I don't know if you'll ever match the first one, and then just the anticipation for that second one was so crazy before COVID hit. I mean, you had Wale in the Backyard Band, you had Clips, you had Pop Smoke, you had that lineup was crazy.
At the first one. Yeah,
I
was at the first one and the third one.
Yeah, Something in the Water was wild. It was amazing, to be fair. I mean, even if you didn't go to the festival, you could feel the buzz all over town. I remember I DJ'd my brunch gig happened to fall in Something in the Water weekend. So I'm DJing at Esoteric, and all the windows were open because it was beautiful. Everybody in the brunch is looking at me. I thought they were. They were not. They were looking out the window, which was behind me, because Pharrell was walking by and grabbed a coffee at Commune and then walked to the beach to the stage. Like,
that's fire.
I don't care what music festival you're at in any town, the guy throwing it isn't going to walk by you to get a cup of coffee. I don't see that happening to me.
Yeah, I love Something in the Water. I hope they bring it back. I always say, like, I want to see them doing more events throughout the year, just to kind of keep that momentum going to the next one.
Right.
And just, like, it really inspires the city, it motivates the city, it shines a light on our local creatives just by having some little stamp. Like, Pharrell doesn't have to be at every single thing.
Right.
But, like, Team Yellow could be on the flyer, or it can be, like, you know, Something in the Water that's doing something throughout the year.
Right.
Like, there's a gap for them to fill there if they want to.
And I think that's what falls on Mr. Bobby Dyer. I feel like they just throw the Superman light up or the Batman light up in the air and want Pharrell to come home and fix everything. Something in the Water was actually fixing the beach weekend fiasco that the Virginia Beach had in the first place. So the fact that they're pressing him on this festival at all is comical to me, because Pharrell bailed them out of a bad situation when they didn't have an answer.
Wait, how do you bail them out?
The College Beach weekend that happened, where basically a bunch of promoters from out of town booked a bunch of events, but they weren't here. So there's a bunch of people just with nowhere to go. So there's a bunch of incidents, and everybody in the city's like, oh, how does this happen? And I was like, it's very easy to understand. You bust a bunch of people in here, tell them they're going to have a great time, and then those events weren't real. Like, you're going to have some incidents.
It was like the Ja Rule situation?
Basically,
when
yeah.
Like
a mini fire
festival?
fest. Yeah. I mean, there was some small stuff, but there was far more people than there were venues to accommodate. So Pharrell heard about it. He was like, bet, cool, I'll put all that energy into this. And that's what Something in the Water came out of.
I met with this guy.
Same week and everything.
Yeah, I met with this guy, Alec, and this dude, Robbie. You probably know Robbie from Something in the Water. And Alec, I forgot his last name, but he's like the
architect
for Atlantic Park. So I met with them too, because I dropped some shit with Gabe and Sonny where I had this idea for a time capsule at Atlantic Park.
Super cool.
Appreciate it. So then I met with Alec because he was interested, and me, him, and Robbie met at I forgot what the spot is called now, but in Virginia Beach somewhere. But he kind of ran me through the story of how Atlantic Park became a thing, and then that kind of led to Something in the Water.
Wow.
Like, so Atlantic Park was actually this dude Alec's idea in college. It was his college thesis. He had an idea for Atlantic Park, had the whole idea, like designed it, and then like 10 years later, he did that as his college thesis, and then 10 years later, somehow he presents it to the city, and Pharrell gets involved. He like somebody FaceTimes Pharrell from the meeting, and then like Pharrell being interested in it is like kind of what made the city want to do it.
Right.
And then Pharrell was like, because he wasn't going to do Something in the Water, but then he saw that Atlantic Park was about to be a thing, and that kind of motivated him to want to do a festival in the city.
That's
too.
Amazing.
So it's funny how your ideas can evolve into other stuff and like impact other stuff in the city that's like bigger than you. Because now, like, when you think of Atlantic Park, the everyday person doesn't even know Alec. But this was something he thought of on his college thesis,
and
like
he's
over 10 years ago.
What the city looks like right now.
Yeah, like, bro, that's insane to me.
That's major.
Hell yeah. CanRock. I know you got to get out of here. You have an event tonight. Anything else you want to touch on? Anything else you want to leave the people with?
Nah, just really harping on collaboration. So everybody in this area, if you're creative, if you want to get involved in anything, don't feel like you're boxing to anything. Use your creativity and apply it across all avenues. But yeah, don't get discouraged by all the bullshit you see on Twitter. Because I mean, I know I'd be reading about, it's not cool to have a full-time job when you're a DJ, because then you're not really. You're not
doing it for real.
Right, yeah, you're not.
Like, all right, I'm going to just be broke and do my little one again.
I bought a house off club money. Like, you can't.
Yeah. Especially when you have a fucking family, like, you're not going to rely on.
I don't, that's, everybody's like, oh, when you going to go on tour? Like, I don't, unless they pay me buku dollars, like, I'm not going on tour, because I don't can I
That's
bring my
missing time
kids
with your family.
Like, what are
Yeah.
you talking about? Like, and do the same. I mean, it sounds amazing. I would love to travel and do a production. That would be great, but it'd have to be a big one to make it worth my while, to be honest.
Hell yeah. I appreciate you, bro.
But yeah, I appreciate you, man. This is a great thing, and I hope you keep doing it, man. It's great to watch.
Yes, sir. God willing, we about to take it there. 2025, man. Nationwide, worldwide. We'll see how it goes. Plug us in with Big K, please.
Got you.
Also, plug us. I told Gabe the same shit, but plug us in with Shaggy, please, too, if you can.
yeah, I can
Because I
line it up.
messaged him a few times over the years to come on the pod, and he'll just like the message, but never respond. I don't know what's going on with that.
He's a weird one. He's a weird one.
But hell yeah, appreciate you, bro.
Cool, yeah, no
if you guys are watching this, we appreciate you for tapping in. All bros links will be in description. Catch him at Duck Dive. He's spinning out a bunch of different events.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll see y'all soon. Peace.